Manchester City 3, Man United 1. Let's be honest, it's not a result that any Man United fan is surprised by, but it doesn't make the result any easier to take, nor the 90 minutes that we've just witnessed at the Etihad Stadium. It was David Silva who got Man City started after 11 minutes, and at that point, I'll be completely honest, I feared for the worst. 11 minutes in, I thought, United need to go into this game and somehow stay level until half-time. Go in half-time at 0-0, maybe make the changes that make it more attacking, and hopefully we can try and get a draw out of this, because the reality is, this Manchester City team is far and away the best team in the Premier League. And Man United's level is so far below this Man City team that if we can't get annoyed with Man United for losing to Juventus, I would probably put this team, Man City team, on a probably level with that in terms of how much better than this Man United team they are. So David Silva got Man City kicked off 1-0. Went into half-time 1-0 down. I thought, you know what, we might actually be able to do this. And then Aguero made it 2-0, 2 minutes into the second half. Awful time to concede. But Lukaku came on, and I'll put my hands up there, I was wrong with that. Changed the game straight away. Man United got a penalty, 2-1, and for about 7 minutes maybe, Man United were in that game. 7 minutes out of 90, where Man City weren't in total control of that game. 7 minutes where I thought, you know what, we might be able to get a result from this game. But ultimately, we didn't. And ultimately, we have to accept, well, we do. We really, really do. This Man City team is so far above this Man United team at the moment in terms of how it's set up that we just have to accept that defeat and not be too furious at Jose Mourinho, which some of you may be, and not be too furious at the players, some of them who underperformed. I'm looking at Ander Herrera, who didn't play well enough today. I'm looking at Marcus Rashford. I think he could have played better. But I'm not looking at individual mistakes, because I genuinely feel there's been a momentum behind the club in the last 4 or 5 games that we can't ignore. And going into this game today, it's unfair to say that one individual's absence made the substantial difference to Man United and was the reason we lost, because it wasn't, but it certainly contributed to the fact that Man United did not have Paul Pogba in that starting 11, because Man United in that first half, we were camped in our first half, which I knew would happen. We all knew would happen. Try and stop City scoring in the first 15 minutes, which we ultimately failed to do. But because we didn't have Paul Pogba in that midfield, every time we got possession in our defence and we looked for a midfielder, whether that be Matic or Fellaini or Herrera, to try and then look up towards Lingard or Rashford, they couldn't do it. They didn't do it. They didn't have enough time on the ball. They weren't aware enough as central midfielders to try and find the right pass to release the pressure on the defence. Instead, it turned into a series of clearances from United's midfield, and City came back at us. And we defended, and then we cleared it, and then City came back again. There's absolutely no denying, and there's no shame in denying how much better this Man City team is than Manchester United right now. And if you don't accept that as a United fan, then you're deluded. But you're not deluded if you think that we could have got something from that second half. After we scored from that penalty, Martial called us ice, 2-1. There was an opportunity there for United to really try and take something from this game. Ultimately, we couldn't take anything from that game, and I think that was down maybe to the personnel, maybe to just how the individuals were playing. But Sanchez and Mata came on. I thought that was 2 very good substitutions by Jose Mourinho. They didn't get in the game enough. Sanchez ended up playing more as a sort of like right wing back. Mata was very much isolated in the middle there. Everything that we've seen that's been positive since, even Chelsea. We've had Chelsea, we've had Everton, we've had Bournemouth, we've had Juventus. That really was taken away from me for the fact that Paul Pogba wasn't in that team. Without Paul Pogba, Manchester United play a different style of football. We don't have that midfielder there who's confident, who's cocky enough, who's got enough confidence in himself to hold the ball when under pressure, look up, find the space and find a teammate. Fellaini's not like that. Matic, who actually played much better today than he did in other games and still played quite poorly. And then Ander Herrera, the game completely passed him by. I'm probably most disappointed with Ander Herrera's performance, given that I needed him to step up to try and replace the absent Paul Pogba. But there's nothing else you can really say about that game, apart from the fact that Man United are levels beyond Man City in the wrong direction. Man City are just a cohesive unit, from Mahrez to Aguero to Sterling to Fernandinho to two Silvers, the whole defence, Laporte and Stones, Mendy and Walker and Edison as well as their goalkeeper. They're just a unit that works cohesively. There's not one weakness in that team. Whereas you look at that team there from Manchester United today, you can identify 6-7 weaknesses. And that's disregarding the fact that this team had a couple of injuries and a couple of changes, one of which was Jose Mourinho enforced. You know, maybe you're angry at Jose Mourinho for the fact that he didn't start Fred and he didn't start Sanchez when Pogba was on the bench. You're thinking, look, without Pogba in the team, you have to get creativity from somewhere. Surely that's got to be from Fred and Sanchez. And in that sense, I do agree. But Man United, and Jose Mourinho knows this, are shit in the first 45 minutes of games. This is something that United have to get sorted. I laughed there, but it's not a laughing matter. Manchester United's performances in the first 45 minutes of games are atrocious. Really, really are. I don't know why it takes us so long to get into a game, but we did it again today. Second half, well, I say that. After Aguero scored, at that point, I was genuinely fearing the worst. I thought 4-5-6-0. This is going to be bad. But one ball over the top, and you saw it from United in that we changed our stance a little bit. After we got that goal, I saw Matic trying to find Rashford over the top a couple of times. We were looking for that ball in behind, because if you lose the ball in behind at that point, it's no threat to your goal. But the reality is, and we all need to accept it now, this Man City team are going to win the league. This Man City team is exactly what Guardiola wants it to be, has trained it to be, and has built it to be. This Mourinho team that we've got from Man United, I wouldn't say it's been overperforming in the last couple of weeks, but it's taken the last few weeks and the last few games for us to really see what we wanted to see from this Jose Mourinho team. This doesn't change the fact that I still feel that Mourinho is improving at Manchester United, but it's a very humbling performance to see Man City so much better than Manchester United. And it might have ended 3-1, but it could have been a lot more. Let me know what you think about that match in the comments below. And as always, if you're new to the channel, subscribe.